Dr. Patty Canchola. Many of you know me as Dr. Patty. And with Halloween just around the corner, I'd like to talk to you about a couple different hazards that are going to be hanging out in that trick-or-treat bag when the kids come home. And there's also a hazard if we're doing some baking. Candy for the holidays, cookies, sugar-free jellos, sugar-free puddings, and many of these ingredients we can find in our own pantry and, believe it or not, in our own medicine cabinet. So one of the things that we all know that's a hazard to our pets is chocolate. And so this is just a typical Hershey chocolate bar. This is a 1.5 ounce bar. And all a little 10-pound dog has to eat is 2.5 of these chocolate bars to become toxic. Now, if you're like me, I like my chocolate really dark. I like that heavy, dark taste. And unfortunately, dogs are going to like this too. So where a 10-pound dog needs 2.5 of these, a 10-pound dog would only need to consume 1/4 of this bar, which is a 3.5 ounce bar of chocolate to become toxic. So you can multiply that times 4, and all it takes is one of these chocolate bars for a 40-pound dog, and that dog's in a lot of trouble. But one ingredient that you may not, or you may be aware of, that is in ingredients, and you will find this ingredients in sugar-free candy, sugar-free gum. You will also find it in sugar-free jello, sugar-free pudding. Believe it or not, we're going to find it in sugar-free peanut butter, and it's also in mouthwash and toothpaste. And that ingredient is called xylitol. And I like to keep gum close handy because I like to chew and I like that flavor and get that nice fresh breath. And as humans, we can consume products that have xylitol. But what is xylitol? Xylitol is a sugar substitute. And now with all the diet kicks and the sugar awareness that causes inflammation, xylitol is used as a sugar substitute. And humans can consume xylitol because it doesn't cause changes in our blood glucose levels and as a result in our insulin levels. However, with dogs, it causes an artificial sensation that this animal has just consumed a large amount of sugar, and that insulin spikes really high and then causes a further reduction in blood glucose. So what happens? Let's say you've got a little 10-pound dog who happens to find your little pack of gum, and they pop open that lid and they chew it open. A 10-pound dog will find this gum. One little piece of sugar-free gum is all it's going to take to become real problematic for that dog. And what happens within 30 minutes to 45 minutes, their blood sugar is going to plummet. And if that sugar stays at that level for several hours, that dog is going to risk seizures, coma, or even death. If a 40-pound dog gets into 4 or 5 pieces, and most of these small containers contain 15 pieces. If a 40-pound dog gets into as little as 5 pieces, that's enough to not only cause that blood sugar to plummet, but it's also going to create a irreversible liver failure with as quickly as 12 hours. And so if you suspect that you come home and you suspect that your dog has gotten into any quantity of sugarless gum or sugarless candy, that's an immediate phone call to your veterinarian, because you're not going to know how long ago that ingestion was. So many of these dogs need to be hospitalized for a period of 24 hours, sometimes up to 3 days. Because if you're worried about low blood sugar, those dogs are put on IV fluids and they're put on a dextrose drip to get their blood sugar to come back up and to stay up until this is gone, because there is no antidote for xylitol. In a case of acute liver disease, many of these dogs don't make it because it causes very acute, permanent damage to the liver tissue. So When you look at ingredients, go through your pantry, go through your medicine cabinet, go through anything that you think is at a height where your dogs are going to smell this because their sense of smell is so strong. And look at the ingredients. And these are 3 different types. This is Icebreakers, raspberry sorbet sugarless gum. First ingredient is xylitol. Trident, the first ingredient is xylitol. Mentos, the first ingredient is xylitol. Big time hazards. So please, please go through your kids' trick-or-treat bags when they come home. Put them away where the dogs aren't going to find it. Pull out the chocolate, pull out the sugarless candies. Don't put that risk out there. And again, if you suspect that your dog has consumed way more chocolate or way more sugarless candy, please call your veterinarian immediately. And if your veterinarian's closed, there are emergency clinics within your city. Pick up that phone and get your animal treated as soon as possible. So that is the short and sweet of Halloween hazards, and I wish everybody a very safe and happy and delicious Halloween. Thank you for tuning in.